Have you ever
The people
wondered
gather
why
in
some of the
numbers.
most
This new message
powerful
spreads.
people in Makkah
They speak of it in the
reacted with
streets.
such
Our
fierce
influence
determination
wanes.
against
Their
the
loyalty
message that
shifts
called
to
for
this new
justice,
voice.
mercy,
Indeed,
truth,
the young Matrana
and the
drawn to
worship
it.
of
This
Allah
threatens
alone.
our order.
What could have caused
Then we counter
respected
it
tribal leaders
before it is
to
too late.
oppose a man whose honesty had earned him the title of Al-Amin long before he proclaimed prophethood? Islam's 1,400-year history invites us to look beyond the surface and discover that the conflict was never simply about religion. It was a struggle that challenged centuries of tradition, systems of power, economic interests, tribal pride, and deeply rooted beliefs that had shaped Arabian society for generations. To understand why the Quraysh opposed Islam,
Tawheed is the foundation of our faith, the oneness of God.
It brings my heart peace to reflect
Makkah
on His
stood as
unity.
the spiritual
In every
and commercial
moment we
heart
remember
of
there is
Arabia.
no
The
God
Kaaba,
but God.
originally
This
built
truth
for the
humbles
worship
me.
of Allah by
Alhamdulillah.
Prophet
We are all
Ibrahim
united
and
in
his
this
son
simple,
Ismail,
profound
had
belief.
gradually become surrounded by idols worshipped by different tribes. Pilgrims traveled from across the Arabian Peninsula, bringing trade, wealth, and influence to the city. The leading clans of Quraysh enjoyed prestige because they managed the affairs of the Kaaba and controlled many of the commercial activities connected with pilgrimage. Their authority extended far beyond Makkah, making them one of the most respected tribal confederations in Arabia. Into this environment came the
Peace be
revelation
upon you,
received by Prophet Muhammad.
traveler from afar,
Peace and blessings
and
be
upon you,
him,
brother.
calling
The Kaaba
people to
unites us
abandon
all.
every false deity
Truly,
and
a
submit
blessing
only to
to
Allah,
witness.
Allahu
the
Akbar.
creator of the heavens and
Let
the
us
earth.
pray as one.
This message did not merely invite private belief. It demanded a complete transformation of the human heart and society itself. It declared that every person, regardless of tribe, wealth, or social status, stood equal before Allah and would be judged
The tally
according
grows.
to faith and
Our
righteous
wealth secures
deeds
our
rather than
position.
ancestry
Indeed,
or
these
worldly
coins will fund our
influence.
next caravan.
Such a teaching directly challenged the
spices and silks are
foundations
ready.
upon
We
which
prosper.
the Quraysh had built their authority.
The market favors
Their
us.
pride
Let us
rested
finish.
on lineage, tribal alliances,
Esteemed leaders,
inherited
we
customs,
gather to address
and
the challenges
control
before
over
us.
sacred traditions that have
The
become
alliances
mixed
we
with
form
idolatry.
will decide our
Accepting
future.
Islam would require
We must
them
remain
to
united,
admit that
as our
generations
fathers
of their
taught us.
ancestors had
Agreed.
followed practices
Let our
contrary
decisions here be
to the
wise
guidance
and
of
just.
Allah. For leaders whose
إلى الأمام.
reputation
يا
depended
جماعة.
upon preserving
كم البهارات
inherited
الحمراء؟
customs,
دينار واحد
this
للكيلو.
was an
نصف
unsettling
دينار
demand.
جودتها ليست
Many
الأفضل.
fear that
اتفاق.
abandoning idol
كيس
worship
وازن
would
اليوم.
weaken their influence over the
الأقمشة
tribes
الجديدة
that
وصلت.
visited
شكراً.
Makkah
عود
every
قريباً.
year. Others worried that the city's prosperity, closely tied to pilgrimage centered around numerous idols, would disappear if people embraced pure monotheism. Yet beneath these visible concerns lay an even deeper reality. The message of Islam called every individual to examine the truth without being controlled by pride, power, or personal interest. History shows that whenever divine guidance confronts worldly authority, a decisive moment emerges in which hearts reveal their true priorities. As the call to Islam quietly spread through Makkah, more men and women embraced faith despite persecution and hardship, while the leaders of Quraysh watched with growing anxiety, realizing that a movement they had first dismissed was beginning to transform lives in ways they had never imagined. As the number of believers slowly increased, the opposition of the Quraysh grew stronger because they recognized that Islam was not a temporary movement that would disappear with time. Islam's 1,400-year history shows that the message revealed to Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, was steadily changing the hearts of people from every social class. Wealthy merchants, respected elders, young men, women, and even slaves found hope in the words of the Qur'an because they offered dignity, justice, and a direct relationship with Allah without the need for idols or tribal privilege. This transformation alarmed the leaders of Makkah, who understood that their influence depended upon maintaining the existing social order. If the people accepted that
Fine
every
pottery from
human
the
being
highlands,
was
strong and
equal
beautiful.
before Allah,
Silks and cotton
then the traditional
woven with care.
hierarchy that elevated certain clans
Spices for
above
every
others
dish,
would
fresh
gradually
and
lose its
aromatic.
power. The Quraysh therefore attempted every possible method to stop the spread of Islam. They first relied on ridicule, hoping to weaken the confidence of believers and discourage others from listening to the Prophet. When mockery failed, they spread false accusations, calling the revelation poetry, magic, or tales of the ancient world, despite knowing the unmatched eloquence and truthfulness of the Qur'an. They tried to isolate the Muslims socially, pressure influential families to abandon the new faith, and persuade the Prophet to compromise by offering wealth, leadership, and honor if he would only stop calling people to worship Allah alone. Every offer revealed that the conflict was never about a lack of understanding. It was about an unwillingness to surrender worldly power for divine truth.
The spices from the caravan are here.
Success.
We must set them out before the crowds arrive.
Increasingly severe.
The silks are delicate.
Many early Muslims suffered
physical
physical abuse, economic hardship, and social exclusion simply because they declared their belief in one God. Some were forced to leave their
The spices from the caravan are here.
Success.
We must set them out before the crowds arrive.
Increasingly severe.
The silks are delicate.
Many early Muslims suffered
physical
physical abuse, economic hardship, and social exclusion simply because they declared their belief in one God. Some were forced to leave their homes, while others endured unbearable trials with remarkable patience and unwavering faith. Yet every hardship only demonstrated the sincerity of their belief, because people do not willingly endure suffering for something they know to be false. This unexpected resilience created a growing sense of uncertainty among the Quraysh. Instead of weakening the movement,
Peace be
oppression
upon you,
strengthened the unity of the believers
be
and
blessed.
inspired others to examine the message more carefully. The leaders who once believed they could silence Islam began to realize that its influence reached far beyond what force alone could control. The message continued to spread quietly through families, gatherings, and private conversations, carrying
Enter,
with it
my
a
nephew.
profound certainty
This
that
is
could
your
not be
home now.
purchased,
Thank you,
threatened,
Uncle.
or destroyed.
The dawn
At this crucial
brings a
point in
new
history,
era for
the
our
struggle
tribe.
entered a far more serious
We must
stage.
guide our people
The
with
Quraysh
wisdom and
possessed
unity.
wealth,
Indeed,
alliances,
let us begin.
and authority, while the Muslims possessed little except faith in Allah and complete trust in His promise. From a worldly perspective, the outcome seemed obvious, yet history often changes when unseen strength overcomes visible power. The question that remained was whether relentless persecution could extinguish the light of revelation, or whether the message of Islam would continue to advance despite every obstacle placed before it, preparing the way for one of the greatest transformations the world
winds are
would
kind
ever
today.
witness.
We are blessed.
The final outcome of this
I can spin
remarkable
it.
chapter in
bread
Islam's
is ready. Add the spices
1,400-year
now.
history
Move along,
reminds
friends.
us
The
that
sun is
truth
high.
cannot be measured by the strength of those who oppose it, but by the certainty with which it endures every trial. The Quraysh invested their influence, wealth, political authority, and social power into stopping the message of Islam, believing that determined resistance would eventually silence the call to worship Allah alone. Yet every
In the embrace
attempt
of the
they
night,
made
our
ultimately
stories take
revealed
flight,
the very
like
weakness
stars that guide
they
us through the
hoped to
endless
hide.
fight.
They could imprison bodies,
Rest now,
impose
for dawn brings
economic
new
boycotts,
paths to tread.
spread false accusations,
The water is low,
and
but it will
encourage
sustain
persecution.
us.
But they could not
Spices
erase
from
the
the east,
conviction that the
incense
Quran had
and fine
planted in the
leather.
hearts of
The
sincere
frankincense is
believers.
pure,
As
a
the
fair
years
trade.
passed, the patience, honesty, and steadfast character of the Muslims became a living testimony to the truth of their faith. Their resilience demonstrated that genuine belief is not sustained by comfort or worldly success, but by complete trust in Allah and unwavering commitment to His guidance. The hardships faced in Makkah prepared the early Muslim community for responsibilities far greater than they could have imagined. Every difficulty strengthened their faith, refined their character, and taught them that victory belongs to Allah alone and arrives according to His perfect wisdom rather than human expectations.
O people, submit to the
Eventually,
will of Allah.
the migration to
He is the
Medina
most merciful,
marked a
the
new
most
chapter in
compassionate.
Islamic history,
He bear
where the
witness
small
that there is
community
no
that
God
had
but
once been
Allah,
mocked and
Muhammad is his
persecuted found the
messenger.
opportunity to establish a society built upon justice, mercy, brotherhood, and obedience to Allah. The message that the Quraysh had tried so desperately to suppress continued to spread across Arabia and, in time, far beyond its deserts, reaching countless nations and generations. Looking back after more than 14 centuries, history provides an unmistakable lesson. The names of many powerful opponents have faded into the pages of history, while the message they resisted continues to inspire billions of people around the world. This enduring legacy reminds every generation that worldly authority is temporary, but divine guidance remains unchanged. The story of the Quraysh's opposition is therefore not merely an account of conflict between tribes. It is a timeless lesson about the human struggle between pride and humility, truth and falsehood, temporary power and eternal guidance. It encourages every believer to remain patient when facing hardship, confident that sincere faith is never wasted in the sight of Allah. It also reminds those who seek knowledge that understanding Islamic history deepens appreciation for the sacrifices made by the earliest Muslims, whose steadfastness preserved the message for future generations. Their example teaches that every challenge can become a means of spiritual growth when faced with sincerity, perseverance, and reliance upon Allah. Today, as we reflect upon this extraordinary chapter of history, we recognize that the greatest victory was not military or political, but the transformation of hearts through the light of revelation. The lessons remain as relevant now as they were in 7th century Makkah, calling humanity toward faith, justice, compassion, and unwavering devotion to Allah. If you're benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.